Happy Watch Along Sunday, everyone. What's going on? Hope you guys are ready to watch some WWE SummerSlam 1990. This is one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time, and not many people like it as much as I do, but this is a fantastic card. I think it's going to make for a great watch along tonight. I'm excited, been looking forward to it all week, and I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Excuse me. As I already need to cough. But anyway, good to see everybody already hanging out here in the chat. Lots to hang out and discuss tonight. Great pay-per-view to watch on Peacock, of course. And it should be a really, really fun Sunday evening. So welcome, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. I'm going to do some chat pleasantries, say hello to everybody, and let you guys know what's going on. And we'll be ready to rock and roll for SummerSlam 1990. I loved this card because it just had a great vibe. I remember it so well. It was, I actually started school the very next day, so it was like bittersweet for me. I was, about 13 years old, and I remember staying up and watching it. I kept the original VHS that I recorded it off pay-per-view for years. I think I still have it. And I remember having to go to school the next day, but the card was jam-packed. The Spectrum Philly crowd was completely wired. A lot of good matches on the show. Great opener with the Rockers and Power and Glory. I think Shawn was hurt in that. One of my favorite tag team match of all time exists on this show. Really fun Mr. Perfect upset with Kerry Von Erich. Even the Ultimate Warrior had a decent match on the show, and so did Hulk Hogan. There were sewer rats, there were snakes, there was betrayals, all sorts of great shit on this card, and it's only 2 hours and 40 minutes long, so they crammed a lot into a short amount of time. So I think the pace is going to be quite quick for the SummerSlam, and it's going to be fun. I'm really excited. So let me just say hi to everybody in the chat. And welcome Jet the Hawk, Tatanani. Destiny is here. Tatanani's got all sorts of information for us. That's good. Reese Jones and Zach in the house. Everybody that has that little GoodMicWork NWO logo by their name means that they are a new channel member. The memberships have launched on the channel. You can do that now by clicking the join button underneath this video, or the join button on my channel, or the link in the description of this video. You can learn all about joining if you want to become a member and all of the perks. That's now up and running, and thank you to the 20 or so of you that have already signed up. So that's very awesome, and I'm really happy to get the memberships going, and we'll be talking a little bit about that as we go through the watch along here, some of the stuff I have planned and the perks and stuff like that. So we'll get into that later on, but very happy to see all the members in here, as well as We Are Pro Wrestling, who I might have some questions for, but I'm pretty knowledgeable about wrestling, about WWE in 1990, so I'm probably good to go, but I'm very, very glad you're here in case we have any questions. Like I said, Tatanani, Zach, Reese Jones is also in the house. Nice to see members here. Ben Espinoza is here. Hassan, Juliet, Big J, Garrett, Andy Linnell, Ray Fran, Khalid, David Brown, K-Dog's Kennel. We got Monkey Wrenches. JJ Leg is here. Right on. We got a good amount of people in here. George Morris, who is another great brand new channel member, chiming in with another $5 super chat. Thanks, dude. Hey, Greg, how are you doing, and how are the cats? WWF SummerSlam 1990, 10 out of 10. 20 people from this event are dead. Very depressing. Madden 23 Tuesday. That's awesome. 10 out of 20 on this card. That's not too horrible, considering this was 32 years ago now. And Madden 23, that's interesting. I've never played a single Madden in my life. So that's kind of cool. And, of course, cats are good. Tito's below me. Bub's walking around the walk-in closet somewhere just chilling. And we're ready to watch some wrestling. And I got a delicious Broken Skull American Lager headed over to Bevmo today as I did some errands. That's right next to a Sprouts. Got myself a delicious piece of ahi tuna to cook later for dinner. And right next door was a Bevmo. Walked in there and sure enough found the good old Broken Skull American Lager right there on the shelf. So cheers to you. I'm going to give this a crack now and let that foam settle since it ejaculated a little bit on me there. But we will take a sip of that in just a second. George, good to see you as always, my friend. Glad you're here. Joe Brill is in the house. K-Dog's Kennel definitely got you, Kevin. Happy you're here as well. Anybody that I must have missed or might have missed, I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. William is here as well. So is Victor Cologne, Zane G, Stephen Scott. Right on. John E. Dennett. Sweet. All right. We look like we've got all of the most of the shout-outs done there. Right on. 1992 was your favorite, William? We did 1992. What did we do? Last week or the week before? We just recently did SummerSlam 1992. I think it was 2 weeks ago. We did Fully Loaded 2000 last week. So it would have been 2 weeks ago. We did 92. So if you want to pull that video up and do a watch along, you can. Although if you ask a question in the description, I'm not going to be able to answer it like I will in this video. So anywho, for those of you who are new, and I don't think anybody is, you know what we do here. We watch these pay-per-views on Peacock. That's the best way to follow along. So if you pull up the WWE tab, go to your SummerSlam page. You want to look for Season 3, Episode 1, and that is SummerSlam 1990. 2 hours, 40 minutes, and 2 seconds is the runtime according to Peacock. So if you have any ads to watch or anything like that, go ahead and get that done. Get all 5 of your zeros across the board there, and then just a couple of minutes, we're going to hit play together, and once we do, the timer above my head will start rolling, and all you got to do is follow along with the timer. Last week, I was super paranoid because we had a couple of weird interruptions with OBS and YouTube in the previous couple of streams, but I don't think that's going to happen today. The podcast went perfectly yesterday, and I think we'll be fine, but the cool thing about watch-alongs is not much is affected by it. If for any reason I freeze or whatever, I'm going to keep watching. You're going to keep watching. So once I come back up, my timer should still continue to match your Peacock. So if we do have any weird interruptions or I freeze for 10 or 15 seconds, it should not matter. Just make sure the timer above my head matches the timer on whatever you're watching SummerSlam 1990 on, and we can all chat and watch together. And it's usually a lot of fun. So that's kind of how we do this here. And we will be hitting play together in just 1 second. 91 next week, Steven Scott possibly. Got to think about it. Got to think about what to do next week because we just did 1992. We're doing 90 tonight. To do 91 next week, as much as I love 1991, I almost like 1990 better, and I like to try to space out some of these shows to where we're not doing too many right in a row or time periods that are too close together. So sometimes if I do a 90s one, I want to do a 2000s one or something a few years later. That's generally how I try to do it, but I think we can squeeze in one more SummerSlam next week. So we might want to do that before we start moving into September and start doing pay-per-views that usually fall around that time of year. So we do have to talk about that. We got 2 hours and 40 minutes to figure it out tonight, or I can make some posts, take some suggestions, and pick whichever one I like the most. Zane G, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for the $5. I attended the WrestleMania launch party last Thursday. Awesome night. That's cool. I saw a lot of videos from that. We got a billboard right down the street advertising the WrestleMania on sale or ticket on sale date, which I think they're already on sale. But I decided not to buy them because every time I've done that, I've hated where my seats are. So I'm just going to wait and, pay for seats on a third-party site where I can kind of pick where I sit. That's probably how I'm going to do it this year for WrestleMania, just so I can ensure myself a good time. But I'm really glad you went to that, Zane. That's awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. All right. Well, hopefully during all this chatter, you've had a chance to pull up your Peacock. Pull up SummerSlam 1990. Like I said, that's going to be Season 3, Episode 1 of SummerSlam is what you're going to want. And like I said, get all your zeros across the board. Any ads you need to knock out, go ahead and knock them out. And we're not going to skip the intro or anything. We're just going to hit play and watch the whole thing. So hopefully you've got your fingers on the triggers. I've got 2 fingers to do. I got a timer trigger, and I have a play button trigger. So we're going to get these ready. And we'll do a countdown from 3 and hit play together, although I need a better grip on my timer there. There we go. All right, hopefully that will work. Sometimes this makes me nervous, although it usually goes well. Okay, here we go. Y'all ready to rock? Countdown from 3. 3, 2, 1, play. We're good on my end. Oh, I love these old intros with Vince screaming the card at us. Hulk Hogan! I have so many fond memories of this show. Ravishing Rick Rude. What a story between these two. Wrestled the year before at SummerSlam, too. SummerSlam. All right, cheers to SummerSlam. The Spectrum in Philly, home of WrestleMania 40. Or not the Spectrum, Philly is. I always loved the Spectrum. This was before they built whatever arena they're using now, the one that WrestleMania 15 was in. But this was before then, the Spectrum. I don't know if the Spectrum is still there. Philly people, is the Spectrum still there? Wow. That's right when the Iraq War, like the ground war started that summer. That crowd is just jacked in Philly. No Spectrum. Thank you. Exactly where our pro wrestling. Anytime Hogan wrestled and he wasn't the champion, all of a sudden the pay-per-view had a double main event. So stupid. See, look at here. Check out Shawn. Look how gingerly he's running. So he's hurt. This reminded me a lot of Hearts and Bulldogs back in '86 when Dynamite was hurt, but he still went through the match but got injured on the outside of the ring. Something happens to Shawn here, and he gets clobbered, and Jannetty does what the Bulldog did or what Davey did in '86, and that's basically wrestle by himself. And there goes Shawn. Pretty sure Shawn went out and had some surgery right after this. We Are Pro Wrestling can confirm that. God, Vince is just on one tonight, ain't he? Jesus. And Power and Glory, if I remember right, had just formed. I mean, hell, Hercules worked at WrestleMania 6, won in a singles match. And I think they formed by having some sort of issue with the Rockers. And then they formed a team, joined with Slick, and turned heel. And then this was supposed to be the big match between the two, but Shawn came up injured. Still turned out to be a good match. Nice double drop kick. Okay, so he was already injured earlier in the month. Oh, that's right. He would make Survivor Series 90, wouldn't he? Right on. Nice WWE fan forever. I'm glad you're not late this time. Would hate to have to block you. Look at Marty's winning this handicap match. Fucking Freddie Sparta. Jesus. Slick. Gotta love Slick. You can see Slick right there. There's the Slickster. Right where my finger is. He's the best. Look at Shawn trying to hobble around. Barbershop window would occur, I guess, beginning of the year, I think, in '92. Very early. Or no, 91, excuse me. So just a few months after this. Oh, that's right. So Shawn would already be back. They had the SNL match, or the SNME match, excuse me, where they beat the Hearts for the tag titles. I forgot about that. I was just assuming he had some sort of serious injury. Either way, cheers. I'm going to bite this red gummy in half. Another interesting thing about the show is Jesse Ventura had just left. So that's why you got Piper kind of being heel on commentary here. Wait till he shits on Ultimate Warrior later. Shawn's still trying to get up. What's up, Roger? I'm doing great, man. JDT, it was August 27th, 1990, an early Sunday afternoon. My parents had my friend and I at the Pensacola Zoo. As we were riding the train, I begged my dad to pay the $30 for that night's pay-per-view. He caved. That's an awesome story. I don't know what. My parents didn't get me all the pay-per-views, but they would get me a few, and I don't know why they. Maybe it's just because when I was a kid, I lived for summertime. I loved being out of school, and I had to start school the very next day, so maybe they knew that I was probably going to be depressed, so they let me order this thing. But I remember them going to bed and me in the living room watching it by myself. My mom was like, as long as you're up in time for school tomorrow, it's fine. Which, now that I think about it, August 28th would have been a late time to start school, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Normally it was like mid-August. Whoa. All right, Shawn hits Roma. Or I'm sorry, Marty hits Roma. Here's Roddy Piper picking up where Jesse left off. They got 5 seconds to get out of there, McMahon. That was nice duck under by Roma. Herc caught him with the clothesline. WWE fan, I think some people are just immune to sarcasm. I would never block you for being late. Oof. I'm curious if Shawn would have been healthy here. If Rockers would have done the job here or not. Because I remember thinking they were going to make, I love this, if they're going to go for their finish, I think they are. I mean, this is actually really good. I mean, they always hit this pretty solidly. Perfect. I think FTR does a version of this too, but I think it's done better when you jump before the suplex concludes. And Roma was already in the air. And they get the win, and now they're going to throw Shawn in there and work him over. Look at the refs in there. There's Kyoto. I don't know who the little guy is. He looks like the, what's his name? Not the Crocodile King, that guy that was on the reality show. Some king, Snake King or something. With the crazy wife that killed somebody. Lion King. Tiger King. Crazy seeing Herc being a heel again. And aligned with Slick of all people. Andy, holy shit, happy 40th birthday coming up. Yeah, Tiger King, thank you. You'll be 40 this Wednesday. Well, the good news is we'll be here too, watching Dynamite on Wednesday together. So if you want to join us for your 40th, that would be fun. Bring it. This, look at this stretcher. Look at this thing. Let's take it. Oh, Sean Mooney. Oh, look at perfect. That belt never looked better around anyone's waist. Perfect's bulge isn't leaving much to the imagination. By the way, this was crazy the way Kerry Von Erich came in. I think it was just like the week before on TV. He just showed up and challenged. Perfect. Texas Tornado. And he just won the IC title. He didn't have it for very long. Never really does any damage. You ever been in a tornado, Bobby? Some hick trailer park. That's great. Nobody. Mr. Perfect on the way to the ring to defend the Intercontinental Championship. So cool. Oh, we got a fade to black there. Oh, now we're back. I thought Hennig was better in the ring than Kerry Von Erich, but Von Erich had the crazy look. I can see why Vince wanted to bring him in. I mean, he just looked incredible. $1 million look. It sounds like Piper's a fan of Perfect. It's just, except for Boobsy. It's always Boobsy. Boobsy ruins everything. I mean, you got to think Vince was rock hard looking at pictures of Von Erich. I mean, my God. He's taken the World Wrestling Federation by storm. He hasn't even had a match yet.
But the only tornado you have to worry about, Mr. Perfect, is the one that's going to come out of that black cloud hanging over your head right now. When it touches down in the ring, it's going to destroy everything in its path. You see, you must not know much about the Texas tornado.
Crazy seeing him in WWE.
They're powerful. They're unpredictable. They're devastating. And when our match is over and the Texas tornado heads back up into the clouds, I'll be taking with me the Intercontinental.
They made him IC champ right off the bat.
That's it from here, Vince. Let's get back to you.
I love that. I think it was Survivor Series a couple months later where it would be Warrior and Von Erich, who already kind of had, you know, they knew each other from Texas previously, and Von Erich was the modern-day Warrior. And then they teamed up with LOD, the Road Warriors. That was just an incredible-looking team to me. The perfect manager. No lies detected. I thought Kerry Von Erich's Texas Tornado, even though I hated the Texas Tornado name, I thought his theme was good. And he had that classic wrestling Von Erich robe. I don't even remember the story of what brought him in or what put him on Vince's radar. Or who put him on Vince's radar. Yeah, Kerry old 1-foot tornado. He's got a tornado on the back of that robe. Whole lot of deceased people in this match, except for the referee. It was very weird that they ended Perfect's streak like that at WrestleMania 6. I would have kept him undefeated until he won the title. Maybe made this his first loss. I mean, Perfect's in great shape, too. I mean, he's huge. Blair Hathaway, Greg, longtime listener, why aren't the Rockers in there? Why aren't the Rockers in where? They were in the previous match. They lost. Roddy Piper, he's questioning Bobby Heenan, thinking he knows about money, but what does he know about wrestling? Well, Heenan's been in the business, even at this point, for a very long time. He knows quite a lot about wrestling. He has wrestled himself. Perfect's junk is just right there for us all to enjoy. Are y'all enjoying it? We go for enjoyment on this channel. I want to make sure that if Perfect's got his junk right out front and center, I want to make sure you guys can breathe it in. Yeah. I'm glad that Perfect would wind up winning the belt back later from Von Erich, but I really did like this whole match. He got lucky. I don't know how Kerry was able to pull that off for so long, hiding the fact that half his foot's missing. Okay, so it was all the Jerry Jarrett USWA stuff that got him in there. Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure that Vince was aware of Von Erich way before this, especially even like after '84 when he won the title and stuff from Ric Flair. But I wasn't sure whatever made him available. So basically, it was Vince. These last remnants of some of these last promotions that are starting to merge or come together or sell off or whatever. Because of Vince's national push, he's able to pick up some of the few remaining pieces he wasn't able to get. I mean, hell, Flair would be coming in the following year. Oof. That'll change some vertebrae. Ooh, nice sleeper. Yes, Jeff, I would definitely say it's the perfect junk, for sure. Exquisite junk. I detect no flaws, if you really analyze all of it. I mean, if you want to pause me so you can pause and just, maybe enlarge the screen just so you can get a really, really good look, feel free to do that. It's fine. I think you'll agree. Yeah, unless one of the brothers worked a spot in, the Garden or something, Von Erich's Kerry is the only guy to sign with them. It's possible David or Fritz or somebody worked the Garden at some point, but look at there. And Piper kind of called this out. Perfect always falls victim to these slingshots. That's what beat him at WrestleMania 6. Oh, look at that. There's the Von Erich claw. I love this. Boom. Nice. I love the crowd reaction to that. Look at Heenan so mad. I remember loving this. That belt was going to look good on him. Look at Perfect selling it. Look at that guy. What was the name of that gentleman that just lost again? Perfect kind of bumped. I love that Perfect bumped the wrong way on the discus punch. I'm not a big fan of the slingshot move in general. It's such a weird move, but some guys could pull it off really well. Perfect was really good at doing that. Rejoice. Vince is awfully trusting of Von Erich here. We're going to strap you up right away with our second biggest belt. I thought they might have been building to a Warrior Von Erich WrestleMania 7 main event or something. Title for title again.
Here at SummerSlam, there is a brand new Intercontinental Champion. And folks, I got to tell you, he came into town here in Philadelphia like a Texas tornado, like a whirlwind. He is the Texas tornado, Kerry Von Erich, the brand new.
Nice. Brand new.
Intercontinental Champion. Now, I had planned at this point in time to talk to Sweet Sapphire. She
Oh, Sapphire. That's right. So she's missing.
Rhodes earlier in the day, but I don't know, for some reason, apparently she is not available.
Oh, here's Heenan. I love this. Look how mad he is.
No justice out there. And the worst officiating in the world. This Texas tornado broke every rule from the time the bell rang.
Heenan's losing his shit. Heenan's acting like a MAGA guy after watching Trump get busted. He did nothing wrong.
You wipe it out for Mr. Perfect. You come right from under everybody, and you take the Intercontinental Championship. Well, the lump on my head is from the post.
Is from the post.
I will be back for you to reclaim what rightfully belongs to the family. Never before have I been humiliated. The worst officiating I ever saw.
Well, you guys are the ones to blame.
1, 2, the shoulder is up, but
Oh, the shoulder's up now.
everything we
Settled both of you.
Heenan cut a similar promo
You're out of control.
I'll be back to
after WrestleMania 6
fully mine will return.
when Colossal Connection lost the titles. And he was back there bitching to Mean Gene. It was great stuff. Oh, okay, that's right. It's supposed to be Sherry and Sapphire. So they're going to blow off at SummerSlam the Savage, Sherry, Dusty, Sapphire feud with 2 individual singles matches. One between the women and one between the men. Look at what is Sherry. Even with that shit on, she's still hot. Sapphire. She's just a common woman. I'm wondering, too, because maybe We Are Pro Wrestling or somebody can help us out. We'll see what Sapphire would wind up doing in a little while. But they also never kept Sapphire around. She was gone after that. She didn't stay with Million Dollar Man. As a matter of fact, Dustin came in. So it feels like Sapphire was there just about a year. So I'm wondering if the whole reason this angle was done was because the year deal they had her signed to, that she began the previous year, around 89, when Dusty came in, and she got with him, was probably around the same time in 89. So maybe this was just the end of it. And she's not coming out. There's a Tiger King referee again. Here we go. We get another crack at the song. The fans are just standing there like, what the fuck? Sweet. Oh, she's Sweet Sapphire. Sweet Sapphire. And she's not coming. I see no Sweet Sapphire. I hate how Vince says it. Hate how Vince says it. Tiger King, you're going to have to disqualify Sapphire for not showing up. I hate to break it to you, Sapphire. Maybe she's just taking a crap. Rene Goulet. If anybody can get down to the bottom of it, he can. Oh, she left over being unhappy for them splitting her up. Because I kind of thought she was going to start accompanying DiBiase to the ring and shit. And Sweet, even Fink calls her Sweet Sapphire. Forfeiture. 20 seconds. Oh, Sherry's counting now. Well, I guess that works out because I wasn't sure how Sherry was going to wrestle in that dress anyway. Unless she's got gear underneath it, which I think is possible. By way of a forfeit. She's walking around like she did something. Look at Dusty.
Forfeit to sensational Queen Sherry, Dusty Rhodes. I saw you and Sapphire arrive here today at the Philadelphia Spectrum. Perhaps you can shed some light on Sapphire's current whereabouts.
I tell you, Mean Gene, I don't know. I wish I knew where she was. 10 minutes after we got to the building, she disappeared.
She disappeared.
I searched the building high and low. I looked in every nook and cranny. Asked every security guard. I said, hey, have you seen Sweet Sapphire?
Hey, have you seen Sweet Sapphire? She disappeared into thin air.
I'm worried. I'm worried big time.
He's worried big time.
Done anything like this before. Hey, Hacksaw, have you seen Sapphire, baby? No, I haven't, Dust, but we're all still looking for her.
Well, what about these gifts she's been receiving, Dusty? I know you've been concerned about
Hacksaw just walks into frame and then he walks back the same way he came. Have you seen Sweet Sapphire? No, I haven't, but we're all still looking for her. He just wanders in.
And besides, she's been the happiest she's ever been. She got a diamond ring. She got a full-length mink coat.
Oh, all the presents she was getting.
She got a cruise around the world. She got a gold bracelet. And she got a brand new Cadillac. But baby, where is she? I'm sorry, Gene. I got to go and find Sapphire.
I'm sorry, Gene. I got to go and find Sapphire. He's got to go find her. He can't be fucking hanging around with Mean Gene. Sapphire's missing.
here at SummerSlam. Unfortunately, however, it looks as if she may not be here to receive it. Vince, let's get back to you.
Yeah, that's some shady shit. I'd be calling the police. If Sapphire got a whole bunch of expensive gifts and then she's MIA, nobody can find her, contact her, hadn't seen her in 2 days or whatever, time to contact the authorities. Oh, the Warlord. Poor Tito, man. I'm pretty sure that Santana, as Tito looked at me when I said Tito, not you, buddy. I'm talking about Tito Santana, the former Intercontinental Champion. You've never won shit. Santana, I'm pretty sure jobbed to Barbarian at WrestleMania. Santana's like 1-8 in the first 9 WrestleManias or some shit like that. A taco vendor or a bean eater is what Roddy Piper. He's trying to pick up where Jesse left off, calling him Chico, and he said he learned his flying forearm finish in the Mexican Football League, the MFL. It's some cheap, just like, oh, Tito Santana, he must eat tacos. I'm like, well, tacos are fucking delicious. I live in San Diego. We know tacos here because we live right next to Mexico. I'm also a bean eater. I'm not a taco vendor, but I'm a taco eater. Close enough. You gonna make fun of me too, Hot Rod? I have eaten some of the best authentic Mexican food with some of the, the Mexican guys that work with me at my restaurant and stuff. They'll bring in food like their wives made, at home, like these tamales and shit. Like, it just, here you go, amigos, for you. And it's just like the most delicious fucking shit I've ever had in my life. I'm like, I want to come to your house. Because those women know some authentic recipes. And the guys just bring it in, like, here for everybody, just party, fiesta. So good. I love it when they bring tamales. As you know, it was made with the love of a good Mexican woman. And they're delicious. Poor Tito. Not you. Doesn't he look like, if you're watching this when Warlord has his back turned, doesn't he just look like a really jacked up Austin? He almost looks like a video game version of Steve Austin. Like, if you put Bret Hart in the ring with this guy, that would be a weird visual. Yeah, like, Wardlow looks like, did I call him Wardlow before? Warlord looks like a jacked up Austin. And I kind of look like, and I'm bigger than both of them, so I kind of look like a jacked up Warlord. Look at Slick. Slick and Tito Santana have got some fucking history stemming from the old Butch Reed feud. Yeah, he does. Chris Ludecki, appreciate that $5, dude. Hope you're doing well, Greg. Love this pick for the Hart Foundation demolition match. Side note, you concerned about this historic flood coming? You mean the California flood? I don't know. Maybe. Never fucking rains here. I cannot imagine some historic flood. Maybe I'll be moved out of California by the time that happens, but I'm not too concerned right now. But I firmly believe climate change is going to fuck a lot of places up, and California could be one of them. Paralyzing drought could turn into too much water. Oh, yeah, he kind of has a little bit of Snitsky in him, too. Oral R. Sullivan, a little bit of Austin and Goldberg in there, too. Oh, yeah, Robert. Slick's Jive Soul Bro. I've got the whole Pile Driver album, baby. I got it on cassette. I got it on VHS. And I got Slick's mug right there where that pen is. Right there. A little 8x10 of Slick because he's the man. He hit it. Warlord's slide himself into position to put his foot on the ropes. Foot on the rope. He's like, damn it. Santana is still in excellent shape, too. You're not going to monkey flip Warlord. That's it. Is that his finisher at the time? Yeah. Power slam. We were right around the same time. I'm pretty sure Davey Boy was on his way in, too. He had either just debuted or was about to debut on TV, returning after the British Bulldogs were no more. No theme music for the Warlord. Not many guys were doing that back then by the time we got to 1990. Oh, man, Andy. Wham Bam SummerSlam. If Triple H brought back the old IC title, I would just be over the moon. Got Survivor Series they're about to advertise coming up next, and that is the debut of The Undertaker. We were just 4 months before Taker showed up in all of our lives, which is crazy. We're watching a pre-Undertaker show right now, but we are. Oh, wow, John. Yeah, that's true. They probably interacted at the Rumble, I'm sure. They worked WrestleMania 7. I think they were on opposite sides of a tag at SummerSlam, and probably the same thing at Survivor Series. So, yeah, that's true. I don't think we ever got a Bulldogs and Powers of Pain match, although they were teammates at Survivor Series one year. This was so weird, Demolition. And Crush. This was pretty much the end of Demolition. They were still quite strong here because Axe was still a part of the team, but Crush is holding the title. I loved Axe. Barry Darsow is great. Bill Eadie was so good on the mic. He had that voice. He had that dad voice, like, don't fuck with me. Down their throat. Oh, this match is up next. This is my favorite tag team match of all time, guys. Hart Foundation, Demolition, 2 out of 3 falls. It was so weird. They had that great moment at WrestleMania 6. They beat Colossal Connection for the titles. The fans went nuts. They three-peated. I was overjoyed because I love Demolition. And then the very first show or that I remember tuning into after WrestleMania 6 on TV, all of a sudden, they're healing on the crowd. They're doing an interview on the platform there. And Axe is giving shit to the fans. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they introduced Crush. I was so confused. I had no idea why they just randomly turned heel for no reason. And then I realized it was a combination of Bill Eadie kind of being phased out and the Road Warriors coming in. Okay, so Vince was weird here. He's trying to sell... They were trying to sell that they look alike, but Vince knew right away that was Crush and Smash with their helmets on. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time the Hearts had the gear, the jackets. They weren't wearing these before. God, they look so good, don't they? Yeah, like Anvil gives a shit who the two guys are. God, Anvil's great. Once again. Smash and Crush. Just like Phil Collins says, 2 hearts beating in just... I think that's the song he's referencing. I don't know. They look good. They had the jackets now. Oh, my God. I was so stoked. And I love Demolition. This is my favorite tag team going up against my third favorite tag team. So this one was going to be fun. And the funny thing is, as a fan, even at this age, I could tell even at WrestleMania 6, even prior to that, when Hart Foundation did this deal where they went on TV or something and they challenged the winners of Colossal Connection and Demolition. They wanted the next shot at the titles, and I thought at that point, I said to myself, I'm like, I think the Hart Foundation are gonna win the titles again as baby faces. So I kind of expected them to win the titles here, but it made everything weirder since LOD just came in. So the big rule here is only 2 members of Demolition are allowed at ringside, but they still get around that anyway. Even the Hart Foundation said in their promo that they expected Axe and Smash, the 2 most experienced members, but
Actually, Crush is one of the members in this particular demolition team. Well, let's just check it out. Yeah. Smash starting things off here against the Hitman Bret Hart. A nice slow start. Two out of 3 falls. And that all-important first fall could very well... Oh, wait a minute. Let's
holy shit. Look at that. Hart's right off the bat using their experience to isolate the idiot Crush. And Hart's and Demolition had some previous wars. They had matches before Demolition turned babyface when they were heels in the beginning. They think they worked SummerSlam 88. And Hart's had just turned babyface. Yeah, I think Hart's worked Demolition in 88. They worked Brainbusters in 89 and then Demolition again here in 90. So they had some great tag matches in the first 3 SummerSlams. He's biting him. Yeah. Yeah, WWE, just like Hogan and Flair, they did things so weird with LOD and Demolition, and even LOD and the Hearts. Like, LOD just basically worked a squash match at WrestleMania 7, and then the Hearts passed the belts to the Nasty Boys. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, if anything, you should have done LOD and Demolition here at this show, or have Hearts win and then do LOD and Hearts at WrestleMania 7 like you were talking about, but I cannot believe they did not manage to get off a prime LOD and prime Demolition match. Maybe Vince didn't want to bury his own guys to the competition's other team that many people consider Demolition a ripoff of. Maybe he didn't want to do that because Demolition did blaze their own trail. You know, Bret Hart and Crush, they kind of have an interesting history. They would work probably a little bit in like 94 when Bret was champion and Crush went heel. And also, I was in the building in Fayetteville in 97, 2 weeks after the screw job for Crush's last night when he got tombstoned by Kane. I even saw him later that night at the Waffle House, and he was talking about, you know, going to WCW. And when he debuted there, you know, a lot of the reason why he left there is because he didn't like what they did to Bret. Him and Bret were friends. Rest in peace to Bryan Adams, too, man. Part of me wants to say Bret was giving away the glasses a little bit as a tag team, but yeah, that became a thing when the solo career started. But he had already gone singles prior to this. He went singles in 89, and I think he was doing it then, too. Bret and Smash, 2 fresh guys. Probably the 2 best wrestlers in this match. Darso's very good. Where's Anvil? Brett's going after both guys here, but Anvil has got taken out or something. Nice inverted to smash. So, yeah, this future WWE champion you guys are in the ring with, better recognize. Brett's like, 2 more years, I'm going to be the man around here. There we go. Russian leg sweep. See, and I love how the fans start kind of coming alive here for some of these near falls. Anvil got taken out. Boom. Look at Brett turning his head so he can eat the leg drop. Come on, Brett. I mean, I guess that was smart for Brett to turn his head so it didn't make it look like he could see it. Otherwise, he'd move out of the way and Crush would drop the leg on Smash. Oh, Jim's still down. Oh, no. And they got Brett in their finish. I forgot they lose the first fall, I think. Oof. And that's it. Fall number 1 goes to Demolition. Of course it does. This is the way you did things back then. The heels have to win the first fall. Going to, Crush in Portland? Yeah, known as American Ninja Brian Adams. Everything he ninja'd for you. Nice. Big choke slam by Crush. We Are Pro Wrestling vaguely. What did they do? His drug test arrest in 95? Because Crush was kind of like already out in like 94. I don't remember him past the Randy Savage match at WrestleMania 10. He might have had some stuff in the summer, but then I remember he turned up in the Rumble in 95, but he wasn't really on WWE TV in 94 or 95. So I don't remember if WWE brought it up on television. They might have, because he would, of course, come back after he got out of prison in 96 with the braids and shit. Beating up Steve Corino, remember? Oh, my God. But, yeah, I don't remember what they did regarding that in 95. It does vaguely ring a bell, though. What a competitor the Hitman is. Yeah, Vince, this dude's better than anybody you got. You might want to realize that. Nick Musser, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the family. Nick is a joiner of the memberships as of today. You're not crazy for buying old VHS tapes on eBay. What the hell do you think all this shit is behind me? What do you think this is? Where do you think I got this? eBay. Love eBay. I have every SummerSlam they've ever released on VHS. All right, Anvil got the hot tag. Forearming, smashes chest. Oh, I didn't know he was supposed to feud with Luger in 95. Really? Did he come back in or something? Because he was nowhere around TV in 95 around that time. That means they must have been bringing him in to feud with Luger. But they never kicked off anything on TV. That Anvil power slam onto Smash was... Damn, I think Piper said shit. Now the Hearts are in control now. Man, so that's just a flying shoulder tackle into the gut. Oh, here we go. Heart attack. I don't know if they were calling it a heart attack back then. This was their finish. Oh, so good. Nailed it perfectly. Well, that's it. They got it. Oh, shit. Crush is coming in. Crush it just flat out attacks Earl. Like Earl's going to put up with this. Look at little Earl. He's carrying around like, get the fuck off me. Ring the bell. That's right. Fucking Crush. You don't just dive on the referee. I do like how Earl's like, get the fuck off me. Ring the bell. It's classic Earl. All right, one fall apiece. By the way, if you're a member, I just added, I don't really know how they work yet, but I added some emojis. I don't know, members can see them. If you try to chat, you can like add one, but I haven't really figured out what they mean yet, but I put a couple of them up if you want to use one. I'm still learning. We got the badges going, though. You get the New World Order one since you're new. Get it? See what I did there? Oh, there's Axe. There's Axe. I think after 1 month, you'll get the Raw is War GoodMicWork logo, and then after 2 months, you'll get the Bret Hart logo, and then after 6 months, you get my logo next to your name as like a badge of honor. He's underneath the ring. So, what's he going to do down there? He's going to bake brownies, Vince. What the fuck do you think he's going to do? Piper's like, the rule is 2 at ringside. He's not at ringside. He's under the ring. That's true. Piper always has a point. Can't argue with Piper. Oh, there we go. They're there. Yeah, so we got WWF ones. Well, I'll figure out ways to use those appropriately, but thank you for testing them and showing that they work. As good as I am at video editing and picture editing and stuff, it was a bitch to figure out how to get these things scaled to the right aspect ratio to be used. And I know how to do that if anything else requires a specific aspect ratio, but this YouTube shit was just extra hard. So it took me a little longer than I had wanted, but I'll have all the badge and emoji stuff hammered out pretty soon once we put meanings behind everything. Boom. Nice. Heart Foundation. They've been doing that move where Anvil picks up Bret backwards and throws him on top since they were formed in '85. So cool. See, now look at Smith. Look, see how quick Smash rolled out, and here comes Axe. Now this stupid fucking referee. Come on, Earl. Look at Axe, like he's going, I'm so fatigued. Bret knows. He's fresh. He is kind of energetic. Look at Bret. Ooh, ooh. Huge clothesline. And what I got to hand it to Piper and Vince. What made this match so great to me is how well they were able to be confused by the whole thing. Like, Piper's like, who's under the ring and who's legal? And Vince is screaming and he's like, oh, you don't understand. And just the confusion of Vince and Piper screaming at each other, LOD showing up, the crowd going nuts. Nobody knows who's legal. 3 men out there cheating. Like, it was really well executed. And this match does not get enough credit. Wait until you see how it finishes. As we're tied 1 fall apiece. At some point, Smash will get back in there. LOD will come out. It's so well done. That'll make you lose your breakfast. Me neither. Welcome to the family, John E. Dennett. Glad you're here. Thanks for becoming a member, my friend. Oh, no, okay, now here comes Smash. And they are just waylaying on Bret's head. Look at Bret. Now there goes. Now Smash is back in. Who's under the ring? And here comes LOD. Look at him taking the fucking shoulder pads off. And I don't know what they're going for here, their finisher, but Crush is like going to the top rope. He's pulling Axe out. Hawk nails Crush. Down he goes. Now look at this is also, everybody has to know where they're supposed to be. And props to the rookie Crush who gets perfectly in position here. Look at him. Brett with the schoolboy. Shoulder tackle over the top rope. Boom. Ah. I could watch that every day. Look at Jim. Yeah. Anniversary of his death was yesterday, I believe. Because Natalia posted something on Twitter. I love Jim. He's like, yeah. Protecting Brett, but he's like celebrating. I don't think you could have pulled off a sequence with 7 wrestlers and a referee any better than what they did. Everybody hit their cues perfectly. They were where they were supposed to be. Even with Crush and the schoolboy at the end with the perfect timing of, LOD walking away and Smash and Axe being distracted by that. It was well done because it belts up the Hart Foundation and can send them in their own direction while Demolition can blame LOD, and you can get this feud going now, even though the feud sucked. And looking back, I don't mind Vince's decision to do that because it puts the belts on a team that's been with you for a long time. Because Demolition and LOD, you could argue, wouldn't need the titles, but especially if you're going to put LOD over, and maybe Vince didn't want to belt up LOD the minute they got there, like he did Kerry Von Erich. So I don't know, but that's awesome. And if you notice, too, those belts were brand new. The belts that Hart's just won. Oh, look, here's an advertisement for WrestleMania at the Coliseum, which didn't happen. But when the Demolition won the belts from Colossal Connection at WrestleMania 6, they still had that silver look to them. And even Smash, in the post-match victory promo, mentioned something about making new championship belts. And then they brought out the more gold version, which looked so good. All right, y'all want to get tickets? 213-480-3232. That's for us here in California. Y'all can't call that number. I'll make my plans now for WrestleMania, but something tells me you ain't going to be in that stadium. Oh, this might be our thumbnail coming up. I love this backstage segment.
My goodness, the way World Wrestling Federation titles are falling tonight. First with the new Intercontinental title.
And here comes LOD. Oh, I love this. This is my favorite promo or backstage interview ever.
What in the world were you doing out of the ring?
Let me tell you something, Jim. Week after week after week, we've come out here and said we want demolition.
We want demolition.
Well, now, we hope you're mad. We hope you're good, man. Because demolition,
Mean Gene's getting like poked in the face.
tell 'em on. You've been running roughshod over everybody. Well, if you look roughshod up in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of us. You're micro mini men in a big man's world.
Your micro mini men.
What a rush! A rush for us! A bum trip for you!
Yes. I mean, this is two worlds colliding here. Hart Foundation. Look at that.
Against all odds! We'll take on anybody, baby! The Hart Foundation, the big and back, is back, yeah!
Jim Neidhart.
Hide behind these belts, we'll take on anybody, anytime, anywhere. Where's the these belongs? Belong to the people. Right, Apple? Right, Hitman, baby! Against all odds! 2 on 2, 3 on 3, 10 on 10, whatever!
Now, just exactly how does the Legion do fit into
I love Jim Neidhart. 1 on 1, 2 on 2, 10 on 10, whatever.
Hey, listen, we ain't got no woes to drink away. Demolition does, Gene.
All right, gentlemen, I've
Yeah, of course Gene wants champagne. Of course he does. That's Brett and a whole lot of dead guys right there.
one thing I know for a fact is that we have brand new tag team champions, Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Animal. You smell the roses
Hawk doing the beard to Jim. Oh my God.
at SummerSlam. Let's go
You'll never understand how much a fan my age would appreciate that fucking image right there. So great. Sean Mooney.
Threats of revenge continue spewing from all three members of that awesome force. But surprisingly, those threats are not directed at the new tag team champions, the Hart Foundation. Instead, they're directed at the Legion of Doom, whom Demolition now holds responsible.
That's another reason why I love Brett. He likes Phil Collins. I like Phil Collins. I've always liked Phil Collins. I grew up to him. Holy shit.
Quite frankly, right now is not a good time to talk to Demolition. Back to you, Gene.
With me now, sensational Queen Sherry.
You mean victorious, sensational Queen Sherry?
Well, yes, but you're not
Victorious.
gonna pull on a victory like that.
Listen, Mean Gene, when you are
Another cool thing they would do at pay-per-views around this time is do sets of interviews, kind of like to act as an intermission, sort of.
they'll take a sensational beating. You can give all you want to.
Well, I suppose, but Queen Sherry, there's something peculiar going on around here. As it relates
Don't go in there, Mooney. I highly recommend not going in there. I'm going to go get another beer. I'll be right back.
There were earlier sightings of Sapphire, but I don't know what's happening to her.
Earlier sightings? What is she, a UFO? But you're right. A lot of people did see Sapphire earlier this afternoon, and I'm beginning to think that maybe she's not so dumb after all.
What do you mean?
First of all, she was smart enough not to show up and take a beating in her match with me. Second, I heard a few rumors a minute ago. She may be the smartest person in the WWF.
Rumors? What rumors? I fail to see what's so funny about a missing person.
A missing person.
She wasn't missing. I didn't say anything about her being a person.
So Sherry is kind of admitting here that she's heard a rumor that's too good to be true regarding Sapphire, which is interesting. So Sherry kind of knows, and Sherry would move on to the $1 Million Man soon.
All right, welcome back to the second half of Summer
Second half of SummerSlam, intermission.
in Philadelphia. A capacity crowd up in the arena, and here's what's coming your way.
All right, Ween Gene's going to run through the card. We got Bad News Brown and Jake. Sewer Rats versus Python.
This man, the Big Boss Man,
Double duty for Big Boss Man.
referee for that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sergeant Slaughter gets a special award.
Slaughter. In tag team action, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Nikolai Volkov. That means the Orient Express of Sato and Tanaka. A one-on-one matchup. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, meets royalty in the Macho King, Randy Savage.
And Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, Big Boss Man in his corner to meet Earthquake with Tito.
You know what's crazy is Earthquake in that photo is like 15 years younger than I am now. That's fucking crazy.
In a 15-foot-high steel cage, defends against ravishing Rick Rude. All right, as I just mentioned, coming up, the match between Jake the Snake Roberts and Bad News Brown. Now, earlier today, we had an opportunity, unbeknownst to Bad News Brown, to sneak into his dressing room and get
Oh, yeah, the Sewer Rats.
of Harlem Sewer
The
Rats.
200 pounds of Harlem Sewer Rats.
And while the Harlem Sewer Rats were contemplating their different,
That's a possum.
Damien was relaxing, unwinding in the shower.
Damien's chilling in the shower. Damn, was his mouth open? Look at how slim and trim the Big Boss Man looks. Look, he looks incredible. You think about how Big Bubba looked 2 years prior to this? In 88? In 87? He was probably 400 pounds. I don't know how much he dropped, but it had to be 100 pounds.
For another all my life. And I'm not afraid of anything that comes from a sewer either. Because I've been dealing with that element all my life too. Sure, it's a sleazy, slimy job, but somebody's got to do it. And I'll be there in the end to see that justice prevails.
I love Ray Traylor. Such a good old boy.
A bit later on, but in the meantime, let's go to Sean Mooney.
I think Hacksaw Duggan once in an interview or something that said Ray Traylor was like super dumb. He's like, he's just dumb as a fucking box of rocks, but one of the nicest dudes ever, you know.
Evidence of
I know a lot of people like that.
Assembled for the first time, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Nikolai Volkov.
A few weeks ago, Sean, when I presented Nikolai Volkov with the American flag, I said I was proud to have him as a brother, a neighbor, and a friend. But today,
These two guys making up is pretty crazy, too.
I love this country, and I love Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He's my idol. And to get
He's my idol.
the Orient Express.
May I remind you,
Nikolai.
the Orient Express is managed by the nefarious Mr. Fuji, who is himself a former co-holder of the tag team title. And that no matter how good team members may be in individual competition, it's the collective efforts of a team that often make the difference. And in that regard, the edge may indeed go to the Orient Express.
Ha! Orient Express. This is an American Express, and don't leave it home without it.
This is the American Express, and don't leave home without it. Oh, Earthquake's got his artwork now.
The only natural disaster in the World Wrestling Federation, the Earthquake.
The only natural disaster.
There's gonna be a
It sounds like an insult.
And it's gonna happen right here at SummerSlam. The last time I came face to face with Hulk Hogan, they carried him up on a stretcher.
Everybody Hogan feuded with always had to beat him up on the Brother Love show first.
Eyes out.
Boss Man, Zeus,
Mania was dead. But then the
Earthquake.
pushed in and started rallying the Hulkamaniacs to send letters encouraging Hulk Hogan to step back into the ring. Well, tonight, Hulk Hogan makes the most foolish decision of his career when he steps into the ring with me. And Hogan, where is that guy who inspired all your little Hulkamaniacs? Where is
That's right, it was supposed to be Tugboat
to say their
in Hogan's corner.
I'll tell you where he is right now.
Earthquake put him on the shelf, and then Boss Man, the recently turned babyface Boss Man, stepped up, which was also weird because Boss Man is a guy that had a feud very similar to what Earthquake is having with Hogan right now. Kicked his ass on Brother Love show, and then they worked a couple of pay-per-views together. And now he's in Hogan's corner. As a kid, I remember thinking that was weird.
Or anyone else stupid enough to show up in Hulk Hogan's corner, because I'll take care of them just like you take care of Hogan.
Baby, I guarantee you're all going to get more than your money's worth. Because tonight, for the
I thought the Boss Man face turn was actually well done. It came out of nowhere in terms of him turning face, but he had kind of ran his course as a heel. But the whole deal they did with like the $1 million belt in the snake bag, and Slick had tried to sell Boss Man's services to DiBiase without Boss Man's, consent. Kind of the same way Hercules turned face.
Joining me now, one of the previous
Oh, yeah.
World Wrestling Federation, Jake the Snake Roberts. Now, Jake, it's well founded that Bad News Brown is afraid of snakes. The question
Jake had some gnarly Damien stories on the Jericho cruise. A couple of them I'm really hoping were made up, because if they weren't, they're pretty fucking disgusting.
A lot in common, but how about you, Bad News? You hang around with sewer rats. What does that
Sewer rats.
But to answer your question, Sean, I'm not.
Oh my God, that thing is wrapping around his neck. I love it.
You see, Damien here is really hungry. Yeah, I know. Bad News says
That is crazy.
it's for weeks, and they must have a voracious appetite. But what I want to know, Bad News, is just how hungry are you? Because
That is so fucking crazy.
hunger
Could y'all let that thing crawl on your face like that? Oh my God.
is what separates a man like me from a mouse like you.
Let's go back to
Damn. And it even unwinds as he's finishing the promo. That's like perfect. I want to thank all-time career, lifetime Patreon supporting champion Michael Kumo has just showed up to become a Shoot Brother and joined the membership team. What's up, dude? Welcome to the family. Glad you're here. Thanks for all your support all the time. Can't thank you enough. You're one of our top contributors, always have been, and you're the man. So I am happy to have you over here in the membership so I can actually give you some presents and stuff. It's kind of nice. So thanks for joining, dude. Appreciate it. I'll add some more emojis, too, so you can put my face next to your name and shit. We'll play all those games to make it fun. All the shit I can do. It cracked me up today how I was really struggling with this, you know, trying to figure out this one particular setting for an aspect ratio. And, like, me trying to figure out how to get this badge to 1.1. Watch me do that and then tell me we don't come from apes, because I'm, like, almost laughing at myself. I'm like, why can't I figure this out? This should be extremely easy to do. And then finally I got it worked out. I'm like, okay. But sometimes the easiest things... And it's interesting hearing Piper on commentary here, because Piper worked Bad News at WrestleMania. That's when Piper painted half of his body black. And so here Bad News is again. Dude just would not do fucking jobs or something. He would, I don't think we got a finish in this thing either. Just like him and Piper battled to the back. I guess it's Piper that doesn't like to do the jobs, but this match and his match with Piper at WrestleMania seem to be pretty similar. Look at Bad News. Tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing that shoot fight, to be honest. Bad News and Ray Traylor. They'd both beat the shit out of Jake, I think, but if they fought each other, that would be interesting. Yeah, Victor, one of the things I'm going to do with the memberships is that we'll wait a month until they all get going, and then once a month, I'm going to take, like, requests from you guys, and I think we'll do Raws or Nitros. I think that'll be better. Those smaller watch-alongs, just 2 hours. They'll just be for members only. And, you know, until the membership, you know, until the group really expands, it's just going to be a small group of us. So we don't need to do anything too long. So a Raw or a Nitro would be perfect, because without commercials, it's like an hour and a half. So, yeah, I'd be into Mankind and Kane, Hell in the Cell, any amount of Raws or Nitros that anybody wanted to watch. When it's time to do that, I'm going to put up members-only posts on YouTube that only you guys can see, and I'll let you guys suggest shows to watch, and we'll do that once a month. But we're only 3 days into the program here, so we want to, like, make sure we get things kind of moving, and then we'll be doing that. I like that episode, though. That's one of the best. Have you ever smelled Bad News? Vince goes, some say that snake stinks as well. I guess Vince wouldn't know. But all the Nitros are on Peacock, so it's got to be Peacock. Whatever we do has to be Peacock, because that's just the best way for everybody to follow along. But assuming that most, not all, but most people have Peacock. Any other platform would be too hard to, you know, ensure that the most amount of people had it. Oh, yeah. His Insiguri was called the Ghetto Blaster. Bad News misses the diving punch. That's true. Garrett, you got a point there. I think Bad News would fuck both these guys up. There's that nice short clothesline. Nobody's been ever been able to kind of recreate that move. That short clothesline he did was so good. Piper. You notice Bad News has his head oiled? He probably doesn't. I don't oil my head, and look at mine, shiny too. Piper, what do you know about bald heads? Shut up. His head oiled. It's just the lights, bro. He probably just had it freshly shaved. He might get chastised again. Oh, Boss Man DQ'd him, that's right. I was thinking it was a double DQ. Just Bad News got DQ'd. Oh, look at Bad News going for the snake. What's he going to do to it? Oh, no. He was going to leg drop Damien? What would that have done? That wouldn't have killed him. That would have just pissed him off. This was about a year, maybe? A little bit less than a year before Earthquake would put the caboose to poor Damien. He called him the big bosom man. Piper. Boss Man is in great shape. Maybe in 1988 he was the big bosom man, but in 1990, Trailer's got his shit together. He's lean and mean. And there's Damien. We never got the payoff on the sewer rats. They made such a big deal about it on TV during the build. The sewer rats, they're just possums. We never even busted them out to see who would win the fight. But a python, it wouldn't matter. A sewer rat doesn't matter if it's from the sewer. A python will eat a fucking rat. I don't care if a rat has teeth or not. That rat's going down. All right, another advertisement for the WrestleMania that would not happen. 1991, my God. I was starting high school. Jesus. I remember being a freshman and talking about the Bret Hart-Piper match at lunch. Because I saw the show, nobody else did. Not all them little hicks in North Carolina, they want to know, who won the Bret Hart match? And I was like, Bret won, man. He's the new champion. He beat Piper. Or no, that was the following year. So that would have been WrestleMania 8. I remember sitting at the lunch table. WrestleMania 7 was sadder because Hart Foundation lost. Oh, I love these interviews. Former. Y'all haven't changed yet? You're still sweaty? It's like an hour ago. They reapplied their makeup to do this promo. Now they're mad that they had a one-man disadvantage. You know what I wonder? Oh, no, they definitely reapplied their makeup. I was about to say, I wonder if they pre-shot this, but Axe was wearing all silver the first time. Darso is so good. You'll be hawking hot dogs. Just when we were about to beat the two of you, we look around and there's 4 of you. Oh, too bad, Smash. Hey, your red rug is crooked. Y'all need to straighten that out. It's askew. I love Brother Love's music. It would make great entrance music. Fucking Bruce. It's so hard to look at him now. Zach was -7 in 1990. That's awesome. Hey, Zach, with your DX profile pic. By the way, we're currently going head-to-head with the DX A&E biography. I forgot to mention that. But that story's been told so many damn times. Do we really need to watch that live? I'll check it out later tonight. I mean, how many times can these stories be told? I mean, they're all really well done documentaries, but shit. All Brother Love is doing here is introducing Sergeant Slaughter, in case you're wondering what he's yelling about. He does love you, though. That I can almost guarantee. Yeah, I was 13. I was about the very next day, I was starting 8th grade. Fucking crazy. Or was I starting 7th grade? I don't ever remember these things. No, 8th grade. 8th grade. Drill Sergeant Slaughter. So let me see. I think there's maybe 3 people on this show that follow me on Twitter. That's kind of cool. Fucking Slaughter and Mooney, and Bruce doesn't. Neither does Vince. We need to get Vince to follow me. He would just love to hear what I have to say. I've been really kind to him lately. Yeah, I was about to start 8th grade. I was about to be a senior in middle school. I was very excited. I was starting to become tall. I wasn't great at basketball yet, but I was getting there. I was about a year away from being able to fucking ball. On the Brother Love Show. I was still skateboarding pretty hard around this time. I was never into my problem that I struggled to get into this whole Sergeant Slaughter thing at this time is that I never gave a shit about Sergeant Slaughter the first time. When I was a kid, I didn't do the G.I. Joes. That was just one toy I didn't play with. I played with all sorts of other shit. Played with fucking He-Man. I had lots of wrestling figures. I had some other various action figures, but I never fucked with G.I. Joes. I didn't care for anything Army or military or anything like that. I never watched Army movies or war movies, didn't, play those type of action figure games. So when G.I. Joe was on TV, the cartoon and stuff, and the figures were all over the stores, and Sergeant Slaughter was a part of that, I didn't care. So now that he's back, now he's a heel. Look at how excited Brother Love is. He gets this giant gold medal. Well, thank you. So when they brought him in here, it felt like it was already done before. You're like, okay, he's going to fight Hogan at some point because we just started this war literally a couple of weeks ago. I mean, the war was just starting up, or at least the ground war was, right around this time, if I remember right. So you knew where they were going to go with it. He's starting off with Nikolai, because now that the Cold War shit is past, Nikolai was the big part of that, so now he's a babyface. And they're going to make an example of him. But also, when I was a kid, even just in general life, but even when I was a kid, when it comes to heels doing shit, these aren't the nerves that strike with me. Like, I don't give a shit if somebody bashes America. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if somebody bashes the town I live in. I'm like, okay, so you don't like it here. I do. You don't have to like it. I don't care. You know, so I always had that take on it. A heel would get more heat with me if they just attack my favorite wrestler or beat up, vulnerable person or power bomb Sapphire off the roof or something. Then it would be like, oh, you asshole. But if he's like, America sucks, and I'm like, yeah, it kind of does, but I don't care what you think. It's still very nice here. We got our problems, but we got our strengths too. Oh no, what did Jericho do? What did you say, Christopher? Oh. Thank you for that, Jericho. He just showed his gnarled hoof on Twitter that is completely missing a toenail and other large chunks of skin. He's got mangled-ass toenails. Whew. I've done some pretty bad damage to my big toe, but to my bones. I mangled it like a piece of meat one time. But that's horrible. Why am I looking at it? What is this? Oh, yeah, it's Orient Express against... Jesus Christ, Nikolai and Duggan. One of them outweighs both of them. Did Sato just go cross-eyed? Now, Sato would later be replaced in the Orient Express with Pat Tanaka with, what's his face? Paul, what's his name? But Sato would come back a few years later and manage Hakushi, is Shinja. Oh, there's Sapphire.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we know one thing. Sweet Sapphire is safe behind this door. I think we can all breathe a big sigh of relief, including the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and myself, as well as...
Gene, I'm breathing a sigh of relief. Thank God Sapphire's all right. Paul Diamond, thank you. Bad company. Sapphire, open the door. Sapphire, man. What is going on with her? She's acting very weird. God, we're past the days of Fuji wearing the face paint and everything. He's back to regular-ass Mr. Fuji now. She's afraid of the mutant rats. That's what it is. Hey, they stole Lex Luger's Lex Express music. What do you suppose the combined IQ of Nikolai and Duggan is? Nikolai had so many different runs. He was in the company and or not in the company, but he wrestled for Vince Sr. a lot. It's like the Mongolian in like the early 70s. And then joining up with Sheik in the mid 80s and winning the tag titles, and then his run with Boris Zukov. Then he would be a babyface here. Then he would come back a few years later and join the $1 Million Corporation as a babyface but heel type of guy. And they would bring him in, and he would appear on Raw randomly in like the 2000s, right? Like Nikolai had one of the longest runs in terms of appearances in the company that would span, I'd say, a minimum of 40 years, maybe even a few more than that. Please rise. Oh, we're not going to do the Russian national anthem. It's a much better song. They had to practice this shit earlier. This is probably hilarious. This is crazy. Maybe they were assuming that the whole entire crowd would join in. Some of them are. Nikolai's got a great voice. He can sing. He's got pipes. There we go. They perked up at the end. Piper, of course, putting it over. There you go. Shout out to that. If you're going to put your life on the line to protect us, I want you protected in any possible way, even if it's just in good vibes. Whatever we can do. Oh my God, they so crazy outweigh these guys. I mean, this is like your typical like modern day SmackDown tag match. This is who hit Row faced on Friday. Yeah, Mike, Piper had to fill in for the departed Jesse Ventura. And somebody had to play that heel color guy opposite Vince, and Piper just said, I'll do it. Yeah. Saw Duggan ringing the cancer bell there to symbolize his completion of another radiation, a round of radiation, which is great news. Here comes Sato. I kind of wish Tanaka's name was Miyagi, so it could be Sato and Miyagi. That would be awesome. Nikolai is so thick. Nice. Damn, they're working over Nikolai. Tanaka went for a splash. I don't know how much effect that would have had anyway. Nikolai's built like a bowling ball. Hacksaw rocking the nice tan. Looking good. Looking jacked. Jeez. He just mowed them both down. I want to be like, hey, Piper, wait to see how obsessed Duggan would become with you when the two of you would become roommates in about 20 years. Or 25, maybe. Don't worry, you'll see. Ugh. Mowed him down with the three-point stance, dove on him. Stares at the camera. Pretty big victory there. Or pretty impressive victory, I should say. Yep. 3 weeks, Cobra Kai Season 5. I'm ready for that. I might have to brush up on Season 4 just to get myself all ready, but I pretty much remember how it ended. They take Kreese away. Terry Silver pays off to get Tori the tournament, and they win, and they're going to open up dojos everywhere, and now Daniel and Chosen are facing a big uphill battle. Mike Barnes is coming back. Miguel is dad hunting. Johnny and Robbie are back together. Pretty much ready to rock on that. 3 weeks. Thanksgiving night, y'all. November 22nd. Mark the date. Undertaker's debut. 32 years ago. Jesus. Look at that kid dressed as the Warrior. He's pushing 40 years old today. How crazy is that? Sapphire. Open the door, baby. Baby won't open the door. This was so sad to me as a kid because Dusty's got to go work. Savage. I'm worried sick. Mm-hmm. I got to go, Gene. And Dusty's going to the ring. This is supposed to be his blow-off with Savage, but Dusty is so preoccupied. Shirt's already off. Just walking right to the ring. He doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't care if he wins or loses, probably. If anything, I was a little disappointed that it kind of gave a whimper of an end to what was a pretty fun and long Dusty and Macho feud that had the women involved.
Macho King Randy Savage, it is now apparent that your opponent Dusty Rhodes will be unaccompanied as he makes his way to the ring tonight.
The rumors must see Savage knows the rumors too. He knows what $1 Million Man's up to. Macho's so good. Ooh. Gonna lay him to rest. Oh, yeah, he's still Macho King, but he's got his Macho Man hat on. We're commoners and peasants, by the way, you and I. I'm a commoner, you're a peasant, or vice versa. Whatever y'all are comfortable with. Damn, we're about to loop the American Dream song. Yeah, Dusty, look how focused he is. I remember, like, the finish of all of this being, like, really bummed out as a kid. I'm like, how are they going to do him like that? Like, that's so fucking sad. He loses his match, loses his woman, loses everything. You'll see the shot of him later where he's in the tunnel screaming, no! I'm like, God, that's the worst thing I've ever seen. So sad. Let's see if we recognize any jobbers. Nope, don't recognize him. I don't know who the blonde guy is. Is that paint on her head or stretch marks, Piper says. Ooh, I think one of them guys is Dusty Wolf. The guy in the back, brunette in the back. Let's see if I see his face, if it's really Dusty. I don't know the guys in the front. And blonde in the back is familiar, but I can't place him. Yeah, Dusty, the last thing on his mind right now is facing Randy Savage. Oh, yeah, and there's Dust, or there's $1 Million Man. And it was at this point when I was watching this live that I got it, that I understood. I'm like, oh, shit, it was DiBiase. And then but when it just, the moment that it clicked in my brain was like, oh shit. Because they weren't teasing, or at least maybe I was too young to see the writing on the wall that DiBiase was the likely pick for the gift giver, but
in your mind or in anybody else's mind that what I say isn't true, then I want you to feast your eyes.
feast your eyes. My latest purchase. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't continue this shit on TV. I mean, he just says my latest purchase. You know, Virgil is his slave. I mean, this is fucking terrible. I'm glad they were never able just to have DiBiase coming out there with these two, treating them like they're his property on TV for too long, because that would have got some backlash. Rightfully so. Those look like legit Benjis.
Who do you think gave her a bag full of money, Dusty? Who do you think bought this fur coat? Bought this diamond bracelet? Bought this diamond necklace? Diamond ring?
I don't know, in the 80s and 90s, when you have money, you have to buy a fur coat. If I had like millions and millions of dollars, I wouldn't give a shit about a fur coat. Wouldn't have one fur coat in my closet.
But don't be upset, Dusty. Don't be upset with Rose Sapphire. Because she didn't do anything that any of you wouldn't do. She had her price.
She had her price.
All of you had your price, including you, common man.
But we didn't know what her role was really going to be. Like, she had her price fine, but price to do what? Just to leave Dusty? Oh, he's going to go after them. Macho Man is just kind of like off to the side in this. He's almost like an afterthought in the whole deal. And Savage and Dusty are both going to get, or Savage and Sherry are both going to get wins over their opponents. What a sellout. Tell me about it, man.
This has nothing to do with women. It has everything to do with the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, apparently thinking that everyone has a price. Well,
Yeah, Virgil would turn face later. Because this would be, you know, part of the catalyst that would bring Dustin Rhodes in. Another thing you have to remember is this is pretty much also the end of the polka dots. I don't think Dusty was rocking the polkas after this. I think he was in full black. And then Dustin came in, and he would be attacked by DiBiase, and then this whole thing would culminate at the Rumble, which would pretty much be Dusty's final pay-per-view, final show, where Virgil turned babyface and then faced DiBiase at Mania, and Dusty and Dustin would both head to WCW.
He seems confused right now. Why isn't he going for the kill?
well, certainly he has to be confused with everything that's gone down here this afternoon and tonight. He was looking for Sapphire high and low, as he said.
But
All over the place.
if he's a true professional, he's got to make adjustments.
That's kind of a tough adjustment to make, but I think he's making it, yes.
What's up, AJ? What's my price? I don't know. Maybe some McDonald's fries, Skittles, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. Something delicious. Macho Man's got the purse. Up. Macho's got the loaded purse. Down goes Dusty, and that's probably going to end the match. And that match on paper should have been such a bigger deal than it was, but it was so unimportant due to the story surrounding Sapphire and everything. But Dusty Rhodes and Randy Savage was a dream match to have that in a major pay-per-view in WWE. I mean, they did the mixed tag at WrestleMania, but the one-on-one could have been really fun if the match was the focus and not all the side shit, but crazy. Oh, Steven Scott. There's a picture online with the kid that $1 Million Man kicked the basketball away from, and it's a recent picture of them together. Oh, that's great. You have no idea as a kid how much that pissed me off. I was like seething fucking mad because I was just pictured myself that happening to me. And I'm like, that motherfucker, I hated $1 Million Man so bad. Even as an adult, you look back at that segment and how horrible it is. I'm like, you're such a dick to a kid. They pulled him right out of the crowd. Okay, here's the limo. That 1990 limo. They stayed all this time? Here comes Dusty. Dusty goes after her. Like this was all so sad. $1 Million Man just broke hearts and did terrible shit. Oh, there they go. If only he had gotten here sooner. Man. I mean, just in this image of him. No. That sucks. Get an explanation. That's sad. I mean, and Dusty would be out of the company soon. It just sucks that his run was so weird. Look at him. A warthog. Maybe he was a mutant rat when he was a kid. I love that. Earthquake. Ready for Hogan. See, to me at the time, we're at 1990. Look at these two. These two were enemies 2 years ago. Bitter enemies. Not even 2 years ago. Yeah, RVD, I think, kissed DiBiase's feet. I wasn't crying, Hulk. I was cool. But to me, by the time we got to 1990, I already seen here's a big heel for Hogan. He had overcome the biggest heels you could imagine. He overcame Orndorff and Bundy and Stud and Gang and Andre and Zeus by this point. So Earthquake was just another one of them. To the Tugster. There was some preliminary plans to make WrestleMania 7 Hulk and Tugboat, which is why they were just randomly friends all of a sudden on TV. Kind of like how they did with Hulk and Hillbilly back in the 80s with Hogan giving him the boots and stuff. The Rats.
Another chapter in American history will be written tonight. And just as Thomas Bossman Jefferson stood at the side of George Washington Hogan as I chopped down the cherry.
It is weird seeing Hogan and Bossman together. Wow.
We'll chop you down, Earthquake, and the hoster never tells a lie. So what you gonna do when the hoster and the big boss man pass their constitutional rights on to you?
Andre was done wrestling in WWE, but he turned up pretty soon. He was around like late 90, 91. They almost made it look like they were coming. He was going to come back, and he had to find a manager and shit, and they were all kind of vying for his attention, but he never was able to really wrestle. Earthquake and Diesel's first theme, I think, were the two most boring themes in WWE history. In 1990, I thought Dino Bravo had a legit chance to win the Intercontinental title. I thought they actually might put it on him for a short time there. Glad he didn't. If you ever take a trip to Cobb County, Georgia, or however it goes. Yeah, Hogan was starting to slim down right around this time. He'd be relatively slim in 91, but 92, you'd really notice it. And then his eyebrows got dark. Yeah, there's a whole different looking guy to me. Boss Man looks like he's got a legit shiner on his eye there. And here comes the Hulkster. Mike Witt, the worst theme was Girls and Cars. That's the best theme. That's the theme I do yoga to. It just plays on a loop while I stretch. Girls and Cars. The sweet, sweet sound. Vince putting Hogan's ovation over. My God. Such a shill. I'm being sarcastic. Did you see the tweet I put up the other day? It was after Dynamite, and it was a fucking great show. Quake by the Lake kicked ass. And I was like, man, two companies both putting on quality TV at the same time. I was like, it's 1997 up in here. And oh my God. You would have thought that I insulted someone's firstborn. And I'm like, can people just not accept just a randomly in jest positive tweet that, hey, it's kind of cool to see wrestling, two companies doing cool things at the same time for the first time in 25 years. But then it became, oh, he made a direct comparison and he says it's the same. And then all these morons explained to me why 97 and now is different. Like, I don't know that. But I'm like, can anybody just not take just a simple tweet and understand the context of it? Like, it's like they're just immune to context and positivity and fun and the ability to be cool and just not worry about it. It's not a big deal. It was a positive comment. Complimenting both companies. And people took issue with this. Because of course they did. That's wrestling fans for you. And then some people would try to defend it, you know, and then they would get in this long argument about it. I'm like, this isn't even important, you guys. It ain't as deep as you're making it. I'm like, I'm just saying it's kind of cool. That's all. But you get actually to death. Well, actually. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, that grass, it's all out there in your yard. Just please go touch it. Smear your face in it. Eat it. Whatever you got to do. Just get the fuck outside and breathe some fresh air. Dorks. Hulk and Quake. Here we go. I mean, Earthquake is huge. Who just talked about that recently? Like, they don't do the thing anymore. I forgot who did that or who mentioned that. Oh, I think it was on Broken Skull Sessions. It was whoever was his last guest. I think it was Sami Zayn. I think they were talking about. I think Austin brought that up. Warthog. Piper is obsessed with calling Earthquake a warthog. I mean, he's so big. I mean, look at his legs. His boots look like they're painted. They don't even look like they're real boots. They look like it's paint on his legs. That's right. 6 years from now, he'll be the third man less than 6 years, which is weird how slow time passes when you're young, because the time between this and Hogan joining the NWO 6 years later felt like 20 years to me when I lived through it. It felt like two completely separate time periods, but it was 6 years. It was half the amount of time I've been on YouTube, and that is just mind-blowing to me. Yeah, get over here, boss man. What do I do? He's like, you rake his face and you punch him in the gut. See? See what he did there? And Hogan's like, okay, rake his face, punch him in the gut. Got it. I can do that. I used to be a heel. I can fucking do this. It's like, who needs Blassie? I got boss man. All right, I'm going to rake his face, right? Yeah, Hogan, rake his face. All right, here we go. I'm going to try them and give this a shot. Earl, don't worry about what you're seeing here. I'm not going to do this all the time, but kick him in the gut, rake his face. All right, and start punching him. No, I can't body slam him. Not yet. It's not dramatic enough. Charlotte's going to be a good episode if that's true. Yeah, I'd be interested in the Charlotte one. That would be pretty interesting. I wonder if Austin will ask her side of the Becky story. That would be fun. But just think about the story she can tell from being a kid. Just like Cody. Her and Cody had to have known each other as kids, right? They had to have been both backstage together at some point. A hammer, a fist. I like how they kind of protected Earthquake, too. Because I don't think he goes down clean or anything here. He winds up. I have no idea how that would give you any extra oomph on your punch. Like, if an MMA guy, like, wound up like that, that'd be hilarious. Roddy Piper is echoing exactly what Jesse Ventura would be saying in the situation. He shouldn't be doing that right now, McMahon. He should be out there worried about it. Piper is just got the Jesse Ventura playbook, and he's reading it page by page. Oh, wow, we're all getting in there? Is Earl going to be cool with this? Okay, it's a tag team now. It's a melee. Oh, I love the... Hogan always did that with his friends. He did it with Hillbilly. That would actually be a really good intergender match. Cody versus Charlotte. If they start debating about whose dad is better, and it starts innocent, like some backstage segment, and then it boils over to something else, and then Brandy's on screen for some reason, and Charlotte walks by and says something, and then you slowly build to it. And then next thing you know, we do Charlotte and Cody for the honor of their fathers. Yeah, Vader came in, though, around this time, though, Steven. You know what he'd be doing? He'd be doing just what Earthquake is, losing to Hogan, but he'd also be getting national exposure. Or more exposure, I should say. It almost feels like Earthquake and Vader should have been flipped at this point or something. Yeah, I think all that is legal. It's Earl. He'll let shit slide sometimes. He's all right. Oh, Earthquake going for a Boston Crab. I mean, a guy his size could really hurt you. I mean, he's got Hogan's legs locked. If he just leans back, he'd break him in half. Would you want to be Boston Crabbed by the Earthquake? I don't think so. Hogan's trying. He's there. I love that Boss Man is allowed to carry that nightstick. Oh, Dino Bravo going after Hogan, slamming him. Ugh. The big bosom man is screwing up the works here, man. The big bosom man. Come on, Quake. Earthquake did have a good elbow. A chance. Hogan's moved out of the way. Come on. Oof. Oh, he went for the slam. Couldn't hold him. Barely kicked out. Jimmy in that megaphone, my God. Oh, bear hug spot. You always got to do the bear hug spot with a big guy. And Hogan. Oh, hey, buddy. The Guardian Angel and Avalanche. That's right. My God. The goofy shit they would do in WCW. He came in as the boss, and then WWE was like, I don't think so. And then he had to be the Guardian Angel. And I remember watching that on TV. I'm like, why are they changing him to the Guardian Angel? I had no idea. I don't think you really... Well, I guess you kind of do. We might see a submission right here. Vince... Oh, he just ripped... Oh, my God. He just ripped Earl Hebner's shirt right off. Look at Hogan. Earl's entire shirt has been destroyed by Hulk. Earl keeps looking at it like, damn. Wow. Hogan going for a high cross body. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Yeah, Hogan does look pretty lean as he's laying on the ground, doesn't he? Nope, he's up. Trouble's brewing. Hogan's about to get earthquaked. I mean, this was a pretty gnarly finish. Maybe not as bad as Yoko's bonsai drop, which I swear a couple guys, I don't know how he didn't kill him. He just came down full force on him. Hogan would always do the shake. Dropping weight for endurance. He didn't drop weight for endurance. He dropped weight because that's what you do when you stop taking steroids. Oh, shit, and he kicked out. He kicked out of the earthquake. Kicked out of two of them, right? Up, here we go. The Hulk up. So props to WWE. They didn't completely go in the... That's two pay-per-views in a row that Hulk Hogan's Hulk up didn't go exactly as planned and as they usually do. And that's pretty rare. Of course, he lost to Warrior. The Hulkster will have no more. Big boot. Now Hogan's going to try to slam him, right? Now he'll do it with ease. Now hit him with the leg drop and put him to bed. There's the leg drop. Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart, right? See? Here goes Jimmy. For the ride into Earthquake. They still got that podium for the sewer rats out there. Sorry, bud. Boom. Earl is really counting slow. I think they got to get this body slam spot off. Another slam on the outside. Oh. On the table, Earthquake's down. And Hogan's going to win this thing by count out, which is so weird. But they kind of protected Earthquake so they could do it again. Hogan jumps up and down like he won the title. He hasn't celebrated. He never celebrated like that when he won by pinfall. He's jumping. What are you jumping for? It's like SummerSlam 93. What is it with Hogan and Lex acting like they did shit with count-out wins? Hey, stop it. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Boss Man's wearing him out. Oh, my God. He does have welts on his back. Jeez. Well, he let him go. Damn. And Hogan wins. Wow, look at those. Man, he really did get him. Jeez. They didn't gimmick the ladder with any paint, right? Those are legit welts. My God. Jeez. Yeah, step ladder, too. I mean, it looked very lightweight, but he was able to really smack it hard on Earthquake, who totally no-sold the marks. Yeah, Hogan's doing the Luger celebration. We just talked about it. Hogan's like, thanks, boss man. Hey, I slammed him, everybody. There's Jesse the Piper Ventura. How can you say he won, McMahon? He didn't win. Look at Boss Man's like, get your ass in here, Hogan. You got to please these people. You got to pose for them, and they got to eat a cheesesteak. You can't have your bedtime cheesesteak without a... Oh, yeah, because what a big insult that was in 1990. Be called a chicken. Man, I go to Hawaii every couple of years, and where we stay, there are chickens everywhere. And they are not scared of nothing. You can drive right up to them, and they will take their time getting out of the way. They'll get out of the way, but they're not in any rush. And they just kind of roam freely. They have no predators there at all, so they're not scared at all. So you have to not include Hawaiian chickens. Right, Barry? Yeah, I've heard nothing about Charlotte being on there. Maybe she's just the rumored next guest, or maybe they've mentioned it somewhere. I've heard nothing about that, but somebody brought it up that she might be, so if she is, hell yeah. It's going to be a good episode. Hogan hot dogging it. I've experienced the Hogan pose before. But I've also experienced Austin hitting the corners many times, and Austin hitting the corners is better by a lot. When you see Austin hitting the corners and like the flash bulbs and everything's like going nuts, like I've been one of those people like dozens of times, and it's pretty damn awesome. I'm like, this dude's over. This dude's over as shit. This dude's as over as you can get. You can't get more over than Austin was. And Hogan was pretty damn over for his time. Hogan's out there having fun. Hogan, get out of there. They got to build the cage. They got to build the blue cage. Yeah, there was a big part of me that was a Hogan fan as a kid. Early on, I didn't kind of get on the Brett train until like around this time. Around the time when he was a babyface again, or he was a babyface with Anvil. And he was just kind of starting to shine. But I liked Hogan. I was on his side against the Heenan family in like 85 and 86 and 87.
He's going to win that Intercontinental title. Let me now, ladies and gentlemen, the Brain Heenan and ravishing Rick Rude. I know, the next World Wrestling Federation champion.
That's exactly right.
Rude cut his hair. Imagine how good Rude would look with the Winged Eagle. I think the belt would look great on him.
Here at the Spectrum that
The big gold looked great on him when he won that.
his way into the ring to face the seemingly invincible Apollo Creed. But let me tell you, that was Hollywood. This is reality. But like it does,
The camera cuts.
art imitates life, and your life is about to change, Ultimate Warrior, because you know nothing about a steel cage match. It's my kind of match. I've got the advantage, and tonight, Warrior, you won't be able to run, and you won't be able to hide. After you make your entrance, and the steel cage door is slammed behind you, it will symbolically seal your fate, and I will become the next World Wrestling.
I definitely wouldn't say that Jim Hellwig isn't a tough guy by any means. He probably could, you know, hold his own relatively well, I think. But I think in a fight, Rude would kick his ass.
Warrior, ravishing Rick Rude beat you before, and tonight he's gonna beat you again. But this time it's gonna be inside of a steel cage.
Mm-hmm.
The most grueling match in the World Wrestling Federation. There are two ways to win: the first man out of the cage, or pin your opponent. And anything goes. And when it's over, Warrior, there won't be anything left of you. There won't be any sequels either. No Rocky 2, 3, or 4. And there ain't gonna be no rematch.
No rematch. Now we got the series of interviews again while we probably build the cage. Poor Dusty, dejected, heartbroken, devastated. Yeah, sad.
Rhodes, your walk down that tunnel here at the Spectrum, a very dejected and despondent man.
Despondent.
Happened with Sapphire.
What I call it, Gene, is emotion. This great
It's emotion.
World Wrestling Federation is built on emotion. Sapphire took the money. That's fine.
That's fine.
I offered up my innocence to her. She paid me back in scorn. Now only America can give me shelter from the storm. I am in
Oh, only America.
walking out toward that Cadillac. Many thousands of fans were screaming, when you
He would start wearing the hat, right? A little bit near the end.
when you're gonna get easy,
Maybe even a cape or something. I don't know what was going on there.
the $1 million man.
Yeah, bud. I don't know what was going on.
Anything. Dusty Rhodes, the American dream. But the American way of life that lives in his heart. From that DiBiase, I'm getting bad, baby.
I mean, and that would have been a good program, DiBiase and Dusty. I mean, holy shit. But it kind of just felt like it fell a little bit flat because it tied into Dusty just leaving. So it wasn't memorable, really. I'm standing here by the ringside. Hey, buddy.
Fantastic match. A little while ago, I was speaking to the ring cage construction manager. He told me that he streamlined his crew, especially to have a go.
Yeah, I see the clock up there. It's 10:21 in the evening, which if it started at 8 p.m., that puts us right about where we're at here at 2 hours, 17 minutes in. And I was on East Coast time, so yeah, this show would run till nearly 11 o'clock, and I would have to start school the next day. Look at this thing. Lord Alfred breaking it down. 3,000 pounds.
This ring has a twofold purpose. This cage, I should say. The main one of those purposes is to keep the two men inside. Very shortly, we're going to see two men battling under those brutal conditions. And now my colleague is standing by, Mean Gene Okerlund.
Thank you, Lord Alfred. Here comes victorious Hogan. I always love the post-match. Look at this. He's still huge.
You know something, Mean Gene? The only thing left to do, brother, is to kickstart my wine, brother. Hang on.
Yeah, the old days of setting up the cage.
Largest arms in the world, man. Ride up to Jack Tunney's office, brother. Let him know that the Hulkamaniacs realize they're still the strongest power in the world, brother.
I miss the old days. I don't like it when it comes down from the ceiling. I'm cool with the Hell in the Cell coming down and stuff, but you should build the cage.
Africa, Asia, North Pole, South Pole, and all points in between, brother. And the new buildings, Mean Gene, they're earthquake-proof, brother. Because, yes, earthquake-proof. Because
Earthquake-proof. Gene's facial expressions when Hogan would go on these wild tangents were priceless.
Well, Hulk Hogan, in all due respect, my friend, I think you're there already.
Hell yeah.
A strong outing for you against this mammoth earthquake.
So he's kind of teasing maybe a rematch with Warrior. They did a little article in the WWF magazine that year where like Tunney made some sort of weird ruling that there wouldn't be a rematch because he didn't want to risk the careers of these guys by them killing each other or something like that. 4.
say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself like you made
You could keep the 3 demandments and just get rid of prayers or vitamins because
9-foot gun
neither will help you.
brand new surfboard with a 2
And vitamins are usually illegal. That's the kind that Hulk takes.
each and every shark I can find. And when I find the biggest wave I can find, I'm gonna catch that tidal wave, brother. I said tidal wave.
Tito wave.
Right to the top. What you gonna do, WWF, Earthquake, and Jack Tunney, and anybody else in my
I think if you just train and believe in yourself, 2 demandments is all you need. They're just 2 demandments. Train and believe in yourself. That's all you need.
He has a lot of momentum, I guess, now, and looking forward to perhaps yet another outing with the earthquake.
I think that he felt the earthquake. I think that he got in there and he did his best with him and he found out one thing. The earthquake is human. He's huge, but he's human. And I do think that he would like another shot at him, for sure.
And what about the earthquake? I would assume the earthquake would very much enjoy it.
Held him, had a chair, was slamming a chair against him. Huge welts, did not let him
Slamming a chair against him. Nothing's happening. Piper's pretty funny.
physical pain. He's in there to take it and he's in there to take it and give it.
All right, talk about physical pain. That would bring us, of course, to our next matchup. The steel cage main event.
Look at them monitors. I want to sit at that desk and call this match with, not with Vince, with Piper.
Going over the steel cage is like putting sharks in a swimming pool. It's fun for the spectators. It's a nightmare for the fans. I say Rude takes it. Rude's got the most experience.
Rude takes it. He's got the most experience. I agree with Piper. Look at those things. Look at Jimmy. I'm like, stop grabbing him, Jimmy. That hurts, bro. Hey, this is terrible lighting for this. Did one of your other lights go out? Your right light?
That's just begun. And it's not only you, Hogan, boss man.
Boss man.
What you do, what you did to me, what you did behind my back. It deserves revenge, and I'm gonna
It deserves revenge.
Hogan, I'm not running away from you. Anytime, anywhere, the quake will be there.
Earthquake, you
He must smell fantastic for Sean Mooney. Sean Mooney is in the middle of the two smelliest dudes, probably.
Obviously, right tonight. But next time, I'll inflict more damage before I give him the earthquake. Next time.
Next time. It's always next time. Spaz Phoenix, what's up, dude? Thanks for that 5 chiming in. Hey, Greg in chat. Just putting the finishing touches on episode 2 of my Triple H era miniseries. Dropping at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Canada time. Tomorrow morning. Right on. Triple H era. Go subscribe to Spaz Phoenix's channel. Hook him up with some love. Check out the series on the Triple H era, which already has had a lot of shit happen in like 3 weeks. So more to come, I'm sure. All right, here we go. Cage looks to be erect. Ted. Nah. Warrior and his snorts. This fucking lunatic. See.
And Bobby Heenan have in common with the Liberty Bell. One is cracked and the other is a ding-dong.
Oh, okay. I guess it wasn't that funny. I thought it was a funny joke. Hey, Bub, what does Rick Rude and Bobby Heenan have in common with the Liberty Bell? One's cracked and the other is a ding-dong. No? Oh, I guess I thought I was the only one that thought it was funny. Tenta is still moving. The way he would bounce like that, I'm like, I'd get tired. Burn some calories, though.
It becomes necessary to protect my inalienable right to be
My inalienable right. Look at Gene like nodding his head like he understands. Yeah, Warrior's got the blonde summertime hair. My hair would get blonde like that when I was the same age as this. It was probably blonde when I was watching this because in the summertime I would spend so much time outside at the pool all day, that the sun would just bleach me. But that definitely looks like a bleach job. Destrucity. I know, JDT, I'm such a snob about belts. I'm a black strap guy. I never liked it when they changed the straps. It's not like they look bad or anything. It's just I prefer the black. So whenever they're blue or yellow or whatever the hell Sean did, and when he was IC champion and stuff, when they started doing that, I'm like, it just wasn't for me. I like my shit more classic. WWE's exit the cage rule has always been dumb. What is this? Do y'all hear this? You have got to be shitting me. I thought my internet crapped out or something. I'm like, what is this god-awful music? They have dubbed over Ravishing Rick Rude's beautiful WWE theme with the most horribly edited, done on Windows 95 with muffled Piper and McMahon. Whatever type of money they're trying to save here, it's ridiculous. And isn't this a Jim Johnson theme, or maybe not? Oh, that is infuriating. That is the worst. Oh my God, that's the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. Fat, out of shape. Look at that guy. Pennsylvania piss ants. Damn. Hit the music. No, don't hit the music. Please, God. It's just infuriating. It just pisses me off. Like, I have this show in its true form, so it's no big deal to me. If I want to watch it with the right shit, I can. But you're taking shit away from the fans to save what's probably going to amount to pennies in terms of what the company can afford, and it's just stupid. Here he comes! And oh my God, he is shaking the shit out of it. Francine did the vocals for Rick Rude's ECW theme. I might have known that. I got a glimpse of Francine. I don't know what she was doing there on the Lex Luger A&E biography when they were showing a bunch of backstage shit from like around 95 in WWE. Or somewhere around that time, before Francine was really a thing on TV. She was there. I clearly saw her. She was a little bit younger, but it was definitely her. So I don't know what she was there for or who she was, what relation she had to whatever was going on. But I caught a glimpse of her. Here comes Warrior up the cage. You guys better be careful. Don't be falling off. Especially you, Warrior. And we have got a cage match main eventing a pay-per-view in 1990. Pretty cool. First time a cage match had ever main evented a pay-per-view, I think, in WWE. Main evented plenty of house shows. And a million matches in the Garden. Saturday night's main event or two. I'm trying to think. There's the only other blue bar cage match in SummerSlam history that I can think of is in '97 with Mankind and Triple H. Oh no, Brett and Owen, '94. Piper Smart. He said Rude should tie the Warriors' armbands to the bars. And Piper's very anti-Rude here. Or very anti-Warrior, excuse me. And Rude's already busted open. What's up, buddy? We're watching Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude in a cage. I can't do anything for you right now. Piper's kind of better at Jesse. Well, no, Jesse's pretty damn good. What does it mean when he throws his arms in the air and starts prancing like a pony and then Warrior dives and misses? Oh, it means he's going to miss. Okay. I will never not enjoy somebody crapping on the Warrior. And it was weird that Warrior would gig in this match because he's already wearing face paint. It's going to be hard to tell if he's even bleeding. The Warriors got him. I've seen Rude busted open a couple times. He's bled before. But yeah, in WWE is kind of rare. Yeah. I can't recall any time Warrior has ever bled in a match other than this. even when he would come back in '96, remember that deal they did with Lawler in the picture frame, and he like had to wear a hat because he was such a pussy. That's where you need Jim Ross to be like, that's unforgiving. That steel cage is unforgiving. I know, I'm still trying to get over the dubbed over music. We'll move past that in a minute, but that's pretty awful. Rude gave Warrior pretty good matches. Like, Rude was one of the only guys who could pull decent matches out of him. The WrestleMania 5 match wasn't bad. Oh, God, he's raking his face on the bars. The previous year's SummerSlam match for the IC wasn't bad. Piper got involved in that, which is funny to hear him on commentary now. Got involved on behalf of Warrior and helped him win. Now all of a sudden he's insulting him and saying that Rude's going to win the match. It was really weird. Going for the neck breaker. Rude awakening. Now Warrior's powering out of it. Oh. Oh, Warrior misses the splash. Knees to the ribs. Yeah, we were so close to getting Rick Rude with the... Oh, and there's the Rude Awakening. There it is. Because he does basically have the match won here twice. I think he's going to go up now. And he kind of gets all the way up to the top. Literally, all he has to do is climb down. Warrior is flat on his back. And he elects to dive off the top instead. He's punishing him. Wow. Look at that sight. Damn, that's a long drop. That's it. It's over. So he had it won, but he decided to dive off and smash the Warrior again. Now he really has it won. He can just walk straight out of the cage like it's nothing and celebrate with his new delicious winged eagle. But he's electing to go up again. Still punishing him. Oh, now he ate a shot to the gut. Warrior counters. That's what he gets. That's what he gets, bub. Warrior's trying to escape. Oh. Oh, that's such a perfect smirk by Bobby, too. It's so awesome. So perfect. He was such a weasel. That should have been his nickname. That would make a good nickname for Bobby, because he's a weasel. They should have called him that. I don't know why they didn't. Oh. Both men down. I love Brain's tracksuit. It's awesome. Oh my God, that's a lot of Rude's ass. Is that Warrior in here or Renegade? I don't know. It's tough to tell. If we get a close-up, we might be able to determine. Oh, and Bobby. He's got Bobby by the hair. Bobby just would always get his ass kicked by Hogan and Warrior. And there he goes. Heenan took an ass kicking from Warrior at WrestleMania 5 too, against Rude. What does that mean? He's getting the power from his Warriors. Well, he wasn't getting it from me. I know, John. I don't know why Rude's not escaping. It's frustrating when you would love to think about Rude as the WWE champion, and you're watching him just inches away from it and 32 years ago, and you can't do anything about it to change it. You want to be like, Rude, bro, walk out the door and you're champ. Maybe if the simulation we're all living in glitches out, we will sit here one night during a watch-along and we will see a different outcome. We have to keep watching to find out if that happens. And there's the press slam on Rude. Up he goes. And now Warrior's going to leave instead of opting to escape the cage instead of going for the pin on Rick Rude. Oh, hey, buddy, you're on camera. The hip swivel. That's actually kind of funny. And Warrior wins. And at this moment, it hit me that in just a few hours, I need to be heading off to 8th grade, to start 8th grade. And start school, and I don't want to. Summer is over, but at least I saw a really fun pay-per-view. I liked watching Mr. Perfect lose. That was fun to me. Of course, I marked out like a crazy person for the Hart Foundation. Hogan and Warrior both had decent double main event matches, especially Warrior, who was in a match that I'd never really seen him in before, working with a guy who I love. And doing the hip swivel, mocking Rick Rude. I mean, looking back now, I would have loved it if Rick Rude would have beat Warrior and won the title. But, you know, when you're 13, I was like, cool, Warrior retained. They're still going to go with him, you know. But even Piper says Rude still won the fight. I mean, Warrior's just treating that belt like shit. So long, everybody. And that is the end of the summer. Well, I still think we got a SummerSlam or two left in us before August concludes. So we'll do another one next week. We just got to talk this week about which one it's going to be. But it was really fun to relive and watch SummerSlam 1990 again. I have such fond memories of that. Staying up late, watching that right before I had to go start school the next day. And just sitting in my living room with the lights out and watching all those awesome matches. And I had a great time watching it. There was just something about the vibe of the show and the atmosphere in Philadelphia and the crowd reaction to some of the victories that I just always had fond memories of. So I'm glad we finally got a chance to watch that one together. It was a lot of fun. So thanks again for those of you who are here. We will talk this week about which one to do next week. We'll probably keep it SummerSlam related. I know we didn't talk about much tonight about that, but we will speak about it on upcoming streams. We will be here tomorrow night as well, reviewing Monday Night Raw. So as soon as Raw goes off the air, join us for a Raw review. I'll have a link up here pretty shortly for tomorrow, and we'll discuss. I like some of these, 99, 2000, 2001. 2000 we should actually do. I did a review of 2000, but have never done a watch-along. I was there. I was at SummerSlam 2000. That is kind of a leading candidate right now. Not guaranteed, but 2000 is on the list. SummerSlam 95 was shitty. I didn't love 99 either, to be honest. Steven Scott, I'd like to take yours under consideration, but neither one of those were really my favorite. 97, perhaps, that one was okay, but again, the pile driver kind of had like a dark cloud over it, so we should do 97 one day, John, just not sure if it'll be next week. We'll give it some thought. 2004 is another good one. I think 89 and 91 are a little too close to this one, but you never know. We'll talk about it. I think 2000 might be leading the way. but we'll discuss it some more tomorrow. So hopefully you guys can join me for the Raw review. Thanks again for being here. If you're not subscribed, please do. And if you hadn't hit that like button yet, if you could hit the like button on the way out the door, I would appreciate it. And again, memberships are now up. So if you want to become a member, click the join button or the link in the description below. Join the family. Thanks again for being here, guys. It's always fun to do this with you every chance we get on Sundays, and I will catch you tomorrow.